Did you ever wonder why it's so hard to get a title for what's called an abandoned vehicle or file for an abandoned vehicle at all? And we've talked many times before on this channel about why it's not good to file for an abandoned vehicle. Most states, almost all states in fact, filing for an abandoned vehicle means you're giving away the vehicle. You don't get to keep it. Abandoned vehicles are not finders keepers. It's not where you can just file and get to claim a vehicle because it's abandoned. In fact, most of the time when you use the word abandoned and you file that paper, the state seizes the vehicle from you and they auction it off after they go through a notification process. And here's why. Here's a comment on one of our prior videos from a user who said, look, my vehicle has a warning under investigation of an abandoned vehicle. My truck is in front of my property on a public residential street. It has an active sticker. It'll expire in 2023. The truck moves. It simply doesn't move that much because we all work in our home. We order things online. We have our own gym room. We pay our taxes in business. So here's a person who has their vehicle on the street in front of their house. Somebody obviously saw it and said, hey, maybe it's abandoned. It hasn't moved. It's been there for a long time. And they filed an abandoned vehicle report. And so they put a sticker on it. And that's what the state will do. The government will put a sticker on it. They'll give it some time. They'll notify the owner. And they auction it off. Well, that vehicle that you're calling abandoned may be somebody's vehicle that's on vacation, in the military. They don't go out that much. It's an extra vehicle. Now, granted, you may know more about that vehicle. You may know that the person moved out of the apartment and they went overseas. Or you may know that they died. You may know more about it. It doesn't matter, though. The things that you know, the DMV doesn't know. They're not allowed to issue you a title saying you are the owner until they exhaust all of the investigation on that process. That's why this person says the vehicle's under investigation. That's what they do. The government that issues titles, Department of Motor Vehicles, Department of Transportation, whatever it's called in your state, they will do an investigation before they do anything with an abandoned vehicle. They want to make sure that no one wants that vehicle. Not the prior owner, not a lien holder, not a relative, not a co-owner. There may be other people involved. Once they go through that investigation, then what they do is they auction it off. Because the value of that vehicle, whatever it's worth, that money belongs to somebody. Once it's auctioned off, that money is held. Some of it is used to pay the fees for towing or for auctioning, whatever it is. But that money is held in case later somebody comes forward and said, hey, that's my car. Right? If it's truly abandoned and nobody wants it, then the money actually goes to the state. They get to keep it. Abandoned vehicles are not, it's not like the Wild West where you can just claim something that you see that's unoccupied. Now, if it's a different story than that, which it usually is. You bought a car or somebody that you know put it on your property or they gave it to you. That's a different story. Now you have methods of filing for a title. You can do a court order title or you could do a civil lien. Instead of a mechanic's lien, you can do a civil lien. Check out our website for instructions on doing those, but be very careful about using the word abandoned vehicle because as soon as you do that, it may trigger a requirement that the state seizes it. They do an investigation, then they auction it off. And this is the reason why. Here's a poor person that worries about losing their car because they don't go anywhere. They go DoorDash or Uber or, they have a gym in their house and they don't go anywhere, which a lot of people do that now. This is to protect somebody like this. May not be the case in your situation. You know that, but the state doesn't know that, so they're not allowed to just hand you over a title. Use one of the other methods than abandoned. Court order title, civil lien, bonded title. There's a lot of other things you can do, and you can check them out on our website at cartitles.com.